Let's see if we get this guy up here. Oh, let's see. We get this other water bottle up there. Let's see if we get him. What happens? Oh. Hey, folks. Manny C here. Thought we'd go through and do a shotgun choke tutorial since it is the middle, or actually the beginning, of upland game season in many parts of the country. A lot of people be using their shotguns, hunting. Even if you don't hunt, you like to target practice, skeet, clays, whatever. It's always good to know. And I'm going to go over this just because I know there's a lot of people that they know about chokes, but there's also a lot of people who don't. When we found out, when we're taking out our kids to go shooting, we try to explain to them what chokes are, how they work, and why they work. So I figured we'd do a video, go through. Basically, you've got two types of chokes. You've got chokes that stick outside of the muzzle from the gun, and then you got the ones that sit flush. These are two of the ones that sit flush. They're just different lengths. See, this is from a Benelli, and it comes with 5 chokes, all different sizes. This one is just from this Charles Daly, and you can see when they go in and you screw them, they sit flush with the barrel. Now you can get as fancy as you want. They sell chokes that you can finger tight them and they stick out. Those are really nice. It just depends on how much money you want to spend and how many different chokes you want to get. Well, I think we should start talking about chokes. We got to start talking about what they do. What the choke basically does is it forces the shot into a smaller area or a larger area depending on what size choke you're using. Okay? Think of it like this. Now remember, the barrel of a shotgun is just big. It's just a big bore where the shot comes traveling down, usually held by one of those plastic shot cups. Right? Shot's in here. The weight of the shot is holding it. Inertia is holding it down, holding it in there as it's traveling out. Now, if you remove the choke, which I don't recommend removing the choke, what will happen is when the shot comes out of here, it will spray. Just like that. And you'll get shot everywhere. That's not good. What you want is you want to use these chokes to control how much constriction goes on the shot before it leaves the barrel. And I've got a pretty good diagram. Let me show you guys right here, so you kind of understand what's going on. Now, we start with what's called cylinder, and you see the cylinder has no constriction whatsoever. Think of a funnel. This thing is just a very graduated funnel in thousandths of an inch. What that does is it keeps the shot together right in the moment before it leaves the barrel. So you can see over here, cylinder is the most open. That means it has the less constriction of all of them. Improved cylinder has a little bit tighter constriction. Modified choke, a little bit more. And full choke, tightest of them all. And what that does is it holds the shot pattern together as it leaves the barrel. And here you can see just a little bit on the yardage and what kind of cylinder does what. And the spreads that you will expect at 25, 30, 35, 40 yards, etc. Something else to keep in mind, with your chokes, you've got your full, your improved modified, your modified, your improved cylinder, and your cylinder. Lead will shoot better, I think, from my opinion, from my experience. Lead will shoot better. If you want steel to shoot, usually with full, you can get 40 yards plus shooting steel. Improved modified 30 to 50 yards. Modified 25 to 45 yards. Improved cylinder 15 to 30 yards. Cylinder, I would say 0 to 20 yards. So something to keep in mind. Whereas with the lead, you're looking at 30 to 45 yards. If you got a full choke, if you're using improved modified, 25 to 40 yards. Use this chart over here. It's kind of just like a basic starter, so you kind of know what you're looking at. Go out and do your homework. You'll see also chokes are marked, and I'll show you how. Most of them are marked right here on the tip. You see that? One notch? Well, the one notch means full. It's tight. So when the shot passes through, you can see you can't even push. That's a really tight fit. You can't even push that down. Can't push that out by hand. So what happens is the shot gets compressed. Okay? Compared to this has 5 notches right there. See? This is a cylinder. That means it's almost, there's no taper to it whatsoever. And you can see when you try to push this through, how easily it goes through. Okay? And they go in varying degrees. You can also see the wall. You see the wall thickness? This is noticeably thicker. This is number 1, full again. And this is number 5, sorry, cylinder. Cylinder means there's basically no taper. It's almost an extension of the barrel. And they all do different things. Starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some shotguns come with 3. Mostly it's the full, modified, and cylinder. But once you get in a little bit higher end guns, they run a little bit. You get, like here you have 5. Heck, I've seen some come with 6, 7. You can get as fancy as you want. Now ideally, when you pattern your shotgun, and pattern means you go out and you shoot the gun, and you try it out, what you want is, you want your gun to hold at least a 30-inch circle. You want all the shot to be contained in a 30-inch circle at 40 yards. That's just a starting point, depending on what you're shooting. If you're shooting ducks that are over decoy and they're coming in close, you don't need to hold it that tight. If you're going to be shooting clay targets and you want to do far away shots, maybe you need something tighter. You got to go out there and experiment with your guns. Now all guns, when they come with chokes, they come with a tool like this. And what this is the choke wrench. What happens is, one end fits into the notches of the choke. And you can use it as a screwdriver. Think of it like a 4-notch screwdriver. See? And that'll go in there and you can snug it down tight. You don't want to over tighten it. On the other side, you've got thread cleaners. See? Which will go in there and clean the threads out of the muzzle of your gun, so you can make sure it's lubricated, because if you don't lubricate these, or basically what you could do is use anti-seize. Anti-seize is the best thing. Put a little bit of anti-seize on here, on your threads, and you'll never have any problems with your choke working loose again. There's, like we said before, a lot of different choke tubes. But what we're going to go over is just some basic rules that you can use on all choke tubes. Number 1, you never want to use steel shot with full or improved modified. Full is the tightest one. Improved modified would be the next tightest. So the first 2, tightest and not so tight, I don't know how else to put it, full, improved, modified. You do not want to use these with steel, because steel does not conform to the barrel. So when you shoot, steel doesn't compress, doesn't deform. You're going to tear the heck out of your chokes and maybe even damage your bore of your shotgun and create a hazardous condition for your gun. You don't want to overstress your shotgun, because remember, we're talking about pressures way lower than rifles or even handguns. You know, rifles, you're working with pressures between 30 and 50,000 pounds per square inch, PSI. It just depends on the rifle. It's a generality. Shotguns, you're looking at between 10 to 20,000. And what happens is, the larger the bore, say you have a 10 gauge, the lower the pressure. 10 gauge, I believe, is 10,000 PSI. When you get up to the 410 gauge, I believe it's as high as, I want to say, 20,000 PSI. So the smaller the bore, the higher the pressures. So something to keep in mind. They've also have sporting clays chokes, which they stick out of the bore. Somewhat. Oh, that one's already has his. They'll stick out of the bore. We'll say this far. And what that does is it helps contain the shot until the very, very last moment, because usually when you're shooting sporting clays, you're shooting at a small target, maybe about that big around, flying fast, right? And going away from you or across from you. So you need something that's going to keep that shot together until the very, very last minute. Now, with a lot of the flush tubes like this one right here, you really don't want to shoot any BB or bigger steel through it, because it will damage your choke. Turkey tubes, they also sell these tubes. They call these tubes known as turkey tubes. They're 1 inch from the barrel. Never shoot steel through the turkey tubes. And again, it's designed to deliver an optimal pattern, you know, somewhere like this, because a lot of turkey hunters shoot the head. Rifle tubes, they've got rifle tubes, really good novelty tubes. Rifle tubes, you can use them in a smoothbore with slugs and sabots, and they improve accuracy. Very cool. They even have those tactical breacher tools. You ever see those? For home defense. Those are open constriction. You can shoot anything through them. Any shot, any slugs. And those are the ones that you hand screw them on. They stick out. They got the prongs, look like a fork, which you could put at the base of your door or the base of your hinges when you're shooting. So it keeps the muzzle where you want. When you're shooting, you know, at forced entry, mostly law enforcement, stuff like that. Those tactical breacher tubes, fun to shoot with if you guys ever get a chance to play with those. They also have what are known as ported clay tubes, which help reduce recoil. They stick out again about an inch, inch and a half, depending on the model, and they're ported like you see on your AR-15s. And they help reduce the recoil depending on what you shoot, right? There's even companies that if you have a shotgun that does not have any threads on your barrel, you can buy a kit and thread your own. Almost like this. You can tap the threads onto your own, inside your own gun. Voila, you got yourself a multifunctional gun. Use it up close, use it out far for 40, 50 yards at passing geese. Shotgun is one of the most versatile guns, I believe, ever invented. You could use it to hunt. You could use it for self-defense. You could use it to defend your property, feed your family. It is, I think, my opinion, one of the best all-round firearms ever created by man. If I had to have one gun, it would be the shotgun. And I'll tell you why, because you can shoot slugs for deer like they do back east. You can shoot bird shot, number 9 shot, number 10 shot, for skeet, or if you're shooting small birds. You can use buckshot for home defense. The versatility are endless. Just got to go out there, use your imagination, look around. If you guys have any questions on doing this, just give us a shout down on below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns. Again, always take your gun out. When you first get a new shotgun, you get a new choke tube. Shoot, practice, take a big piece of paper out. You want at least 30-inch circle at 40 yards. Very good start. Follow the point of aim and your point of impact. Always look. A lot of shotguns are different. If you're aiming here sometimes, you want to have your target. A lot of shotguns will shoot like that, which means target's here. Your aim is going to be right above the target. But some shotguns, you can aim right on the target. That's why you got to take your gun out, get a nice steady rest. Even though a lot of guys say steady rest. I'm not a big steady rest fan because I think that you're going to duplicate field conditions and you're going to be out there, you're not going to have a rest. So you might as well shoot off the shoulder so you can see what the gun does, how it does. You guys have, like I said, any questions, comments, concerns, send them on down. Good shooting. Be safe. Till next time. Benign, that's pretty funny. Oh yeah. And we got a couple of, let's see the red one over there, yeah. Oh man. Yeah, let's see, we got the yellow up here. High fructose corn syrup coming up.